Welcome to You Know Nothing. This is my first video on YouTube, and today I am going to discuss a super popular fan theory of Tyrion being the Targaryen. In Game of Thrones, Season 6, Episode 2, called Home, Tyrion acquaints himself with two of Daenerys' dragons, the one locked up in the catacombs, and he unchains them. Instead of roasting Tyrion, Rhaegal and Viserion let him touch them and unchain them. The question is, why? Was it a coincidence? Did they sense he was there to help them, as Tyrion implied? Or is there something more to it?
I cried myself to sleep that night. But here you are.
Different code, that's all the truth.
This fan theory holds that Tyrion is actually the illegitimate son of Aerys, Mad King Targaryen, which offers another explanation for why the dragons like him. Now let's take up some reference and clues. The reference from Joanna Lannister and Aerys' second Mad King Targaryen. In the series of the books Song of Ice and Fire, it is said that even once Tywin and Joanna Lannister married, Aerys was still infatuated with her. In reference to Joanna, he drunkenly joked about how it was a pity that the tradition of the first night, which allowed the king to sleep with the new brides, was banned. Sir Barristan Selmy, who was a very respected knight, also seemed to corroborate that Aerys took unwanted liberties with Joanna during her wedding ceremony. Aerys' continued lust for Joanna was a constant source of friction between he and Tywin. It's possible that, at some point after Tywin and Joanna married, Aerys got his way and petted Joanna Lannister, whether by force, blackmail or otherwise. So by this might Tyrion have been the result of that union. According to those who knew Tywin and Joanna well, the only time Tywin smiled was when Joanna was present. And when Joanna died giving birth to Tyrion, the best part of Tywin died with her. In spite of Joanna's death, if Tywin's love for her was so great, then why did he hate Tyrion? And in fact, his eldest son Jaime is a member of the Kingsguard, which is a sworn brotherhood, and so he cannot marry, meaning that Tyrion is the only one who can legitimately carry on Tywin's branch of House Lannister. Tywin continuously refuses to consider Tyrion his heir, which seems odd, while given his focus on family and legacy. References from Tyrion's appearance. Tyrion's appearance may also provide some hints that he is a Targaryen. The Targaryens are famed for their silver hairs and purple eyes. In the books, Tyrion's hair color is described as a mixture of pale blonde that's almost white. His eyes are also mismatched, one green, other black. Tyrion's appearance is in contrast with that of Jaime and Cersei, who have classic Lannister looks. Green eyes, golden blonde hairs. Siblings obviously don't always look alike, but Joanna and Tywin were first cousins, which means their offspring should have Lannister traits. So how did Tyrion end up with black eye and whitish hair? In addition to Tywin's insinuations that Tyrion isn't his son, he continuously insults him. During a storm of swords, Tywin doesn't hold back. He tells Tyrion, "You are an ill-made, devious, disobedient, spiteful creature, full of envy, lust and low cunning." The ill-made crack is especially noteworthy. On the surface, it's another insult about Tyrion being a dwarf, but it could also be an insinuation that Tyrion was the product of an unwanted relationship between Aerys and Joanna. Literally, he was made in the wrong way. Since Tyrion's birth resulted in Joanna's death, it's a double whammy for Tywin. Tywin's resentment of Tyrion is similar to Catelyn Stark's feelings towards Jon Snow. In A Feast for Crows, Tywin's sister Jaina tells Jaime, "I once said to your father that Tyrion is Tywin's son, not you. He would not speak to me for half a year." Jaina was likely referring to the fact that Tyrion's intellect is similar to Tywin's, but obviously likening them to each other infuriated Tywin. Catelyn Stark hated Jon Snow because he was the living proof that her husband had been with another woman. Did Tywin hate Tyrion because he was a reminder that his beloved wife had been with another man? In addition to denying that Tyrion is his son, Tywin's itching to dispose of him, whether it's assigning him to the vanguard in the Battle of the Green Fork or sentencing him to death for King Joffrey's murder. He wants him out of the picture. Finally, before Tyrion kills Tywin, he admits that he always wanted Tyrion dead, and his dying words are a denial that Tyrion is his son. Another interesting parallel is that if Tyrion is a Targaryen, this means he and Jaime killed each other's father. Tyrion's fascination with dragons. There are other clues about Tyrion's true lineage. Like many other Targaryens, he has an affinity for fire and dragons, which is mentioned throughout the books and the show. Particularly of note is a conversation with Jon in A Game of Thrones. Tyrion says, "When I was of your age, I used to dream of having a dragon of my own. Oh yes, even a stunted, twisted, ugly little boy can look down over the world when he is seated on a dragon's back. I used to start fire in the bowls of Castle Rock and stare at the flames for hours, pretending they were dragon fire. Sometimes I'd imagine my father burning. At other times, my sister. Don't look at me that way, bastard. I know your secret. You've dreamt the same dreams." During a dance with the dragons, Tyrion crosses paths with the Red Priest Mukkoro. Like Melisandre, Mukkoro can see the future in the flames, though his predictions are markedly more accurate than hers. He tells Tyrion he sees dragons, old and young, true and false, bright and dark, and you, a small man with a big shadow, snarling in the midst of it all. The dragon is the sigil of House Targaryen. What's more interesting to me about the passage is that Mukkoro is speaking only of dragons and associates Tyrion with them. In A Storm of Swords, Dany thinks to herself, "The dragon has 3 heads. There are 2 men in the world who I can trust, and if I can find them, I will not be alone then. We will be 3 against the world, like Aegon and his sisters." With the Tower of Joy scene, we have finally got the confirmation of Jon Snow's lineage. And if Jon is the 2nd head of the dragon, Tyrion could be the 3rd. Thanks for watching, everyone. Do like and share, and please subscribe. From the next video, I'll be getting some of the most weird fan theories for you all. Until then,
Valar Morghulis